Do you know what PFL stands for? In immigration, PFL stands for Procedural Fairness Letter. What kind of document is it? Well, Procedural Fairness Letter is not a normal inquiry from immigration. It's something that causes concern for the officer, and officer is obligated to express that concern in utmost details. In this video, I will describe point by point what PFL is, what causes concern, how applicants or their representatives, lawyers, consultants can address it, and why it's important to do it in the right time, in the right way. Well, let's start with what PFL, Procedural Fairness Letter, is. And I would actually start with definitions of officers' concern. They usually divide it in four major categories. First one is credibility. Can the officer trust you? Maybe something in your behavior, in your materials, in your past caused the concern of credibility. Well, another one is very important, eligibility. Maybe some points are not as stable or solid and you're not actually eligible for this program. That may cause concern for you because in original submission, everything looks okay. As a matter of fact, the officer may accept the original. You may even receive original pre-approval letter or documents confirming that you were eligible at the time of assessment. But time passed, maybe they requested something else, and maybe you're not that eligible as before. Maintaining that status of eligibility is absolutely critical. Another one is also very important, admissibility, because sometimes officers assess certain things related to your past and they see if you had any admissibility concerns. That is very important. And the last but not least is, well, the old dog of misrepresentation. It's still barking from around the corner. We have to address it. Misrepresentation is the biggest concern of all. Why? Because depending on who you work with, misrepresentation may happen accidentally or unwittingly from your side, and then you have no one to blame because the Federal Court of Appeal clearly sided with the officers if clients or applicants in this case decided to blame somebody else. Oh, it's my lawyer. He said that and I didn't correct him. Well, it's your case. It's your life. You have to be very vigilant about that. Another critical concern about PFL in regards to what it is it's not indefinite. It's very limited in time, in inquiry, and it's not hypothetical. Usually officers are required by law to present specific inquiry because PFL is intention to refuse. Depending on who you work with, sometimes people tell me, Dr. Alex, my lawyer told me it's okay, we'll respond and everything will be fine. Okay, I admire the positive attitude of your lawyer, but it's not that rosy. You have to be absolutely serious. When you get PFL, it's basically one step before refusal. And this is very serious because in this case, officer identifies, like I said, 4 points that will basically form the foundation for your refusal. So replying on time, replying in full, that's how you need to address it. And that's our next chapter. Common mistakes of misunderstanding usually can be divided in 3 major parts. Part 1, like I said before, people treat it like normal inquiry. Not so much. Why? Well, first of all, the officer made an effort to present the case usually already preparing for refusal. Why is that? Well, because an officer required to address all concerns and name them in the Procedural Fairness Letter, because Procedural Fairness Letter pretty much the foundation, the legal ground for your future refusal. So, to avoid the refusal, you have to react seriously, but not too seriously. And I'm addressing those who, react very emotionally. like it's already a refusal. No, it's not. But addressing things emotionally may agitate the officer and may actually crash your future chances to remediate the situation and to respond rationally. So, respond in the right way, in the right mood. It's very important. And the last on the list of these mistakes, people sometimes asking us or instructing us to provide as much information as possible. And this is where I have to apply my judgment and experience. And I tell people, listen, the officer expressed concern. Let's address those concerns precisely, because given all the information that you collected by this point, all the information that will find more reasons for officer maybe to even dig deeper, or actually sometimes, this is very important point too, actually sometimes people digging themselves even deeper in trouble, let's put it this way, because they provide so much and something that officer didn't even ask for, and then they have to explain that part too. And by the way, officer treat a lot of information as diluting the answer with water, if you know what I mean. In this case, the more you say, not the better. Okay? You say precisely what people ask for, run it by us or your counsel, and definitely try to understand, is that a clever answer? Now, why it's important to have professional assistance. And well, let me tell you this. If you didn't have very strong professional defending your case, applying for you, it's time for you to acquire one. Why? Well, because if you got to the point of PFL, anybody can get to the point of PFL, by the way, but if you got to the point and your lawyer or consultant actually absent during the process and surprised as you are, that's not a right way of reaction. Why? Well, again, because you need to understand the legality of this process. The legal grounds for this inquiry also matter, and you have to understand how this PFL connected to the current legislature, to the current case study. What's the background of this inquiry? And maybe some questions will be completely unrelated because officers are humans. They sometimes make mistakes more often than you may think. We actually just recently we replied to one in the office, apologized because it was completely out of scope of his or her, I don't know, that they hide behind the numbers, responsibility. Okay, so you have to have right representation. Now, if you have understanding of common grounds for this PFL letter, professional language, professional explanatory basis would be absolutely crucial. If you have questions about that, you can always ask us. And that's where we get into the point of how Anyvisa can help. At Anyvisa, we treat any PFL extremely seriously. For our own clients, and some of you actually went through this with us and landed in Canada successfully, you know that we react immediately, within hours upon receiving this PFL letter, because we receive in correspondence in 99% of cases, we inform the client. So your responsibility, number one, is to be available, to be connected, so we can reach you. We're not wasting time, because PFL, like I said before, limited in scope and in time. You have to respond. Extensions rarely available under very, very aggravating circumstances. But normally the officers say, no, we have to receive response by this and that date. Okay? So take it seriously like we are, and you will be okay. That leads me to another concern that people sometimes react with: panic. Panic is not a good companion in this journey. Why? If you receive PFL, some people react the way that we don't anticipate. They blame each other. They blame us. They blame immigration. They blame the weather. They blame everybody. But is that the right thing to do? Of course not. It's a time to mobilize yourself, to get together as a team, to contact your counsel, to contact your supporting designated organization get together seriously and address things to the full scope of a possible explanation to the officer to the best extent of each party. That's exactly where consultation with us, initial and proper consultation, required. You can find the link in the description below. As well, in description you can find many useful links to our other videos, pages on the website, and resources. So with that, I would like you to like the video and subscribe to our channel to help us to bring you more useful content, and share this video with someone you think may benefit from this. And as always, stay safe by staying informed.